Hey everybody, welcome to Camper's Choice. My name's Ron. So we had a winter storm here in Texas, which you don't normally get, and got down to about 18 degrees. Had some snow covering the ground, and there were icy conditions. And the thing is that I have a 2,000 watt generator in the shed, which I plan on using, but my roof was leaking on my shed, and I had the generator in one of those tubs, and it got pretty well submersed in water. So when I recognized it, I drained the oil and flushed that a couple of times. I dried out the air filter, and I took out the plug and got the water out of the plug area, and tried to start it. Put some gas in it and start it, and wouldn't start. So I'm going to take that into the shop and see what they can do. It probably needs just the carburetor bowl. I didn't get into that because I didn't want to. It's a little bit hard to get. I didn't want the seal on it. I didn't want it to, get it halfway on and halfway off, and then not know because you can't see it. So I'd had enough, and I'm just going to take it into the shop and see if they can, what they can do from there. So the good thing is that the grid held, and so I'm not. My heater's still going, the fridge is still going, still able to see the computer and TV and everything, so that was good. But and if it did go out, I still have this Wave 3 heater that was a 20-pound tank and another 12-pound tank. I still had that, so even though the refrigerator, maybe the food would have gone bad, still would have probably had heat enough for a few days anyway. So I decided to put a list together, and of course number one on that would be a heat source. I like that Mr. Buddy big heater, because it can put out like 18,000 BTUs as compared to my Wave 3 heater, which would only put out like 3,000. So I'm looking into getting one of those, maybe selling that Wave 3 heater. But ideally it would be nice to have one of those 12,000 Duramaxes or somewhere along that line, and then put in one of those 50 amp inlets, and leave the generator in the shed, and then just have it there with 2 or 3 tanks of have handy 2 or 3 tanks of propane, because it can run off propane or gas, and I'd run it of course off propane, I think. And so that would be ideal. But you're looking at spending $1,200 for the generator, and probably another $800 to $1,500 to get that 50 amp put in. So I had a 50 amp put in from my Bolt, and they only charged me $800, I think it was, for that. So, and I don't have near the material needed for that, for the generator, and I can run an extension from the generator to my shed. It's only 25 feet, and they can mount that inlet onto the side of the mobile home. So I've called around, waiting to see if I'll get some bids on it. But so then the other thing is, this is my 20 point checklist. Number 2 is a water supply. I do have 5 gallons of water on hand, so that would last me hopefully 3 or 4 days. Third one is non-perishable food. Peanut butter, jelly, bread, nuts, stuff that's non-perishable. Maybe some of those noodle bags and soup and stuff like that. put all some of this in a tub in a room or shed where where it is and you can get at. And then probably a can opener in case they don't have any of the, we get them off the top, lids off the top. So as far as any medical, number 5, any medical stuff, I just need the what do you call it? One pill I take for that and I have had plenty of that. So, and then any kind of lighting, flashlight, LED lights for lanterns, or I've got some small batteries. So I need to get a lantern just in case the lights go out. I have no power at all. Carbon monoxide detector for the big buddy. Maybe crack my window for that. And with that, heavy blankets. Got a wool blanket and a Sub-Zero heating sleeping bag, and several other blankets. So I'm covered with that. And something to charge my phone. One of the power banks. To keep the phone charged. Maybe an emergency weather radio that I think some of them crank or use batteries. I wouldn't plan on going anywhere in my car, but if I did, I'd have jumper cables, some kind of sand or kitty litter I put in the trunk, collapsible shovel, of course an ice scraper and snow brush. Make sure my tank is full of gas. If I'm using the Chevy Bolt, make sure. I don't usually use that in the wintertime. I use my Focus. Chevy Bolt doesn't react too well with the cold. Real cold or high heat. Emergency road kit and some warm clothes in a bag, hand or foot warmers, maybe maps, but I don't know, and a toolkit. But back into the my mobile home, I might consider filling the bathtub half full with water, although I suppose it could technically freeze, but my bathroom's right next to my bedroom, so I think I'd be pretty good there. Fill that half full of water so I could flush the toilet. Of course, again, and then maybe have some cards or, I suppose I could have some stuff on my phone, some games on my phone that I could use to pass the time. And as far as on the eating goes, have some disposable plates and knives, forks, and spoons, and of course you should already have any stuff to cook it with, pans or frying pans, and one of those maybe camp stoves would be workable. It'd be nice to have too, as far as be able to if you had to cook your food. And since I was in the service, retired military, I'm fully aware of MREs, meals ready to eat, which they pack a lot of calories in there, but and they're not all that tasty, but they do the job, so that's something also to consider. And that's pretty much it. If you got anything out of this video, consider contributing to the Coffee Beverage Fund, and I'll see you down the road. Safe travels, everybody. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for future videos.